One thing I told Kawhi and PG this summer, like, we do got to approach the regular season in a different way. Like, we got to be, approach the regular season, like, let's be serious about it. Let's not wait to the...
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. I want to talk about the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. But first and foremost, let me say to our regular viewers, thank you for the support. To our new viewers, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe. So the LA Clippers are not the dominant force everybody were expecting, especially after they signed Kawhi Leonard and Paul George some years back, more so last season. While this is largely due to injuries, there was also a lack of urgency that seemed to persist during the regular season that contributed to the Clippers having to fight hard for seeding in the final weeks of the season. This is something that coach Ty Lue recognizes and has addressed with both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. During a recent appearance on All the Smoke, Ty Lue talked about this, and from what he shared, it's clear that it's a shared understanding that LA's approach last season was not sufficient and is something they must refine entering next season. It looks like something they're working on and they're looking to change and play better in the regular season. So let's listen to what Ty Lue was saying, then I'll give my reaction after.
All three of your seasons with the Clippers ended with one or both of Kawhi, Paul, one of them out. How has it been dealing with that?
It's been tough. It's been frustrating, especially as a coach, I think as fans, as Clipper fans, as an organization, because we feel like we have the potential to win a championship. We have all the pieces, all the right pieces, and we have two great stars. Like PG and Kawhi are two of the best stars I've ever been around as far as...
Both ways.
Yeah, both ways, two-way players, but not a headache. Like, right. You can go to them, like, they're not looking for media, they're not looking for attention. Like, You can go to those guys and ask them to do anything, and they'll do it. And it's just unfortunate because, everybody here to load management and they kind of give those guys a hard time. But at the end of the day, like, they don't want to play in the playoffs. Like, these are real significant injuries, and so, you try to manage guys to get to that point. When we get to the playoffs, we can finish the season. And it just, it just hasn't been that way. And so it's not a thing where they're sitting out or load management in the playoffs. Like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard,
But this is what people don't understand. It's not Kawhi and Paul making these decisions.
Right.
It's the staff, the
medical
medical staff. Yeah, the medical staff.
And I mean, it's smart because when you go through the injuries they've been through over the course of their career, we got to do the right thing to try to be healthy going into the playoffs.
It's your investment.
Yeah, it's our investment, and so you got to be smart about it, But one thing I told Kawhi and PG this summer, like, we do got to approach the regular season in a different way. Like, we got to be, approach the regular season, like, let's be serious about it. Let's not wait to the playoffs because it matters. Like, who you get matched up with, have a home court advantage, not fighting the last 10 games of the season so we won't be in the play-in. So now you can get rest. Now you can get yourself together and be ready for the playoffs. And so they both understood that as well.
And I know that's got to be frustrating for you because Kawhi will sit out, then he'll come in the playoffs and average 35 and lock up, and you're like, okay, he's back. And then he has to sit because the knee starts acting up. So I just know as a competitor and you and a fan of the game, that's hard to see as a head coach.
Yeah, it's tough because, like, if it wasn't good enough, then you're like, oh, it is what it is. But
take it.
I think we're good enough. I think we're good enough. And so with the coaching staff that I have in place, with our players, like you said, the role players, the organization's done a great job of putting this together. And, like, I just want to see it just one time. Just let me see it one time. And then we can go from there, and then you can kind of evaluate where we're at.
Yep.
So after listening to Ty Lue, as one of the biggest fans of Kawhi Leonard, it's refreshing because I think they are trying to solve their problems. I think the Clippers realize that they have been disappointing and are trying to correct the mistakes they have been making. And he also made it clear that he finds it ridiculous for the media criticizing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for not playing, labeling it load management. To be specific, Stephen A. Smith has been on Kawhi's case over and over again. And I've always said it, Kawhi Leonard is really passionate about his basketball, and if he can't really play, then he will not play. Paul George also pointed out that there's no need for them to be on the court when they can't give 100%. We have to be realistic. The Clippers can't win a series with Kawhi Leonard playing 50%. The Denver Nuggets don't win a championship with Jokic playing at 50%. The Lakers can't win a championship with LeBron playing at 50%. We all saw what happened to the Bucks when Giannis was unfit. When Giannis got injured, they were knocked out. We all saw what happened to the Boston Celtics when Tatum was injured early in that Game 7. My point is, injuries are unpredictable and injuries affect outcomes. And with injury-prone players like Kawhi Leonard, we just have to accept his reality and hope that he gets healthy. On Ty Lue talking about they need to take the regular season seriously, yes, he has a point. The regular season is important in many different ways. Building team chemistry is one of them, and also knowing how the opponents play, which comes in handy in the playoffs when making adjustments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a comment, like, and subscribe.